Welcome back to the Prestige. Thank you, Silva. As I went over in my results video, we'll do a quick recap because we already did a full video. If you want to go see that, go to the video. But real quick, these are our perfect picks from last week. Omar Sy money line, Sam Patterson by finish, Axel Solo money line, Mason Jones is one of our locks money line, Cuever Manez money line, and William Gomes by decision. So the first fight of the night is Rodrigo Cezanado against Danilo Donchenko. Rodrigo is 9-1 and Danilo is 12-2. I did watch The Ultimate Fighter. I usually skip through all of the shit and just watch the fights. I don't know much about their backstories. I do know Rodrigo's been training with DC regularly and working on his grappling game and all that. And Rodrigo did beat a fighting nerd in the house to get this opportunity. That doesn't mean much as of last week, so we're just going to take that for what it is. Danilo Donchenko, I think he was an underdog in the final, or the semifinal, and he ended up just smoking that dude. He's fast, he's furious, he's a boxer, he can grapple. And Rodrigo is, I believe, a kickboxer and he's working on grappling quite a bit. He has like a lot of top pressure. And I think he gets a lot of TKOs that way. I'm going to go Rodrigo Cezanado. My confidence is not very big. It's very low. It's basically an amateur bout. And Cezanado over 2 takedowns just because he's been working with DC. I've been watching some of it. And I think he's gonna have the cardio and he's gonna have the control. It's gonna be probably a boring fight, and he'll probably win by decision or a knockout over 1.5. Alice Pereira and Montserrat Rendon. I've been going back and forth with this fight a lot. So Montserrat is a pressure boxer wrestler, and she uses a lot of clinching and controls her opponent against the cage, and then she'll go to work her takedowns, and she's a lot about control, which kind of worries me because Alice is 19 years old, and she just hasn't had the time on the earth to train all of the skills needed to probably fight in the UFC, but we'll see. I think this is a decent matchup for Alice, and why I'm picking Alice is Montserrat is very slow on her feet. Very slow. And Alice is very fast. And I believe Alice is like 5'10". She's a big lady, I think. I see Pereira knocking her out in the first round. Just because Rendon has a speed disadvantage that's significant. And she kind of zombie walks at people sometimes to get to her takedowns. Which, if you put your arms like this, there might be a head kick coming your way. So my pick is Alice Pereira, but I strongly caution what happened to Rufy could 100% happen to Alice Pereira. She could definitely lay on her and do whatever she wanted with her. So just keep that in mind. But I'm going with Alice Pereira. I think round 1 knockout should be. There's such a speed disadvantage. Alessandro Costa and Alden Correa. I've been high on Costa, I think his whole career. I bet on him once before and he lost it. That was to, I think it was Steve Ursag. But I think he's safe enough in the grappling. He's never been submitted. He has 6 wins by submission. So, and I think that's Alvin Correa's biggest path of victory is submission. He has a couple of KOs too. But I like Alessandro Costa. I think there might be... Yeah, there's a 4-inch height advantage, and the reach is the same though. So that's intriguing. That's not really an advantage at all then. It's kind of a disadvantage. I'm gonna go with Costa. I'm pretty confident. I think he gets a KO here. I'm pretty close to making this my lock, or one of my locks, but maybe when I put out my video on Thursday, we'll be able to change that or look at it further and see if I want to lock it up. It's hard to find Alvin Correa's fight tape, and they've been going crazy with removing fight tape on websites and everything now. So I don't know. It's hard to find some fight tapes. So Zachary Reese versus Cedric Dumbass. Zachary Reese, I've been a fan of, and I've probably bet on every one of his fights, unfortunately, because he's lost almost every one of his fights. I think he had some potential at one point. I don't think his durability is there, but he's only 31 years old. He's got very good intangibles. He's very good size. His reach could be better, but he's got solid jiu-jitsu. He's got decent wrestling and decent striking, which is more than what I can say for Cedric Dumbass over here. Cedric Dumbass is a dumbass. He's a street fighter that can wrestle a little bit. I think the only way to bet this is no decision. As much as I would love to slam Zachary Reese and hammer some money down on him. What is he? How many times has he been finished here? He was finished by Azamat Bakoyev in January 2025, and Cody Brundage slammed him and punched him. Other than that, he doesn't have any finishes. Well, those are like 2 losses. Yeah, I'm going Zach Reese. I think my confidence is like up a little bit, but this is more of a fade on Cedric Dumbass, or Dumbass. But we're gonna go Zach Reese. All right. Jesus Aguilar versus Louis Garul. Everyone thinks Louis Garul is this like big power striker, big power kickboxer. He's not. His only skill is wrestling. He is a super ghetto Bo Nickel. Like super ghetto. Like just regionals in the States or whatever. Jesus Aguilar is a UFC fighter. I don't even think Garul won his Contender Series fight. Okay, he did, but he won it by a split decision to get into the UFC, and then lost. He got knocked out in round 2 by Ode Osborne, which that's a really tough fight to get in for your opening fight. I think Jesus Aguilar is pretty strong everywhere. Striking's not his strength, but Louis Garul sucks everywhere except for wrestling. He got his back taken in like 30 seconds in his last fight. Or no, not his last fight. Against Nick Piccinini. Like literally got his back taken. And Nick Piccinini sucked, so he didn't submit him. But he got his back taken like 5 times in that fight. If he gets his back taken against Jesus, he's getting subbed out. I think Aguilar by sub all day. Pretty confident. I don't like Garul. I don't think he's very good. Period. But yeah, moving on. Tatiana Suarez against Amanda Lemos. Suarez 34-11-1, and Lemos is 15-4-1. As you can see, this is one of my locks for the week. Basically, Lemos is kind of on a death slide, I think, right now. She's just gonna fall down the ranks and fall down the ranks and fall down the ranks. Unfortunately, I think she lost to Mackenzie Dern, she beat Mackenzie Dern, but she lost to Verna Genderoda and Weili Zhang and Jessica Andrade. What do all three of those people have in common? They're all wrestling based fighters, and she got subbed by two of them. So I don't know if that prop bet I have on the screen is very safe. The more I look at it, the more I think submission. Maybe round 2 submission. Because, man. Decision or submission, or Lemos hits her in the first round. I might bet like first round only or nothing on Lemos. Just because I don't think Tatiana is going to submit her in the first round. She's definitely not going to knock her out in the first round. But, yeah, I'm going Tatiana Suarez very heavily. Odds are shit, but she's part of the double up, I think. This fight, I just switched right before the stream. I don't know. This fight, the confidence should be way down on this one, because I was pretty sure on Jacqueline Silva, and then I saw the age discrepancy, and I was like, man, Claudio Puelles, he does do some things very good. And Silva, I rewatched their tape. That's why I'm recording at 5:30 in the morning right now. I was gonna hit record, and then I was like, man, I'm not sure on a couple fights, so you watched them. So Silva has BJJ in his nickname. It's Neto BJJ. He has 3 submission wins, 0 submission losses. But he's just lost the ground control battle in like every match he's been in that I've seen. And Puelles is the opposite. He gets a shit ton of takedowns and wins the grappling battle in every matchup he's in. Now, Silva loses to fighters like Puelles. I think Puelles isn't a ground and pound finisher, though, and I don't think Silva gets... Man, I don't know. Silva puts his front leg out so far, and Claudio loves grabbing front legs and lifting you up and slamming you on the ground. And Puelles is submission over position, so Silva's going to get a couple chances to get up. So he could easily knock out Puelles. I'm going to switch that to Silva and knock out Puelles sub. And under 2.5 for the pick. I still think Puelles might get a sub in one of the scrambles, because Puelles is going to get him down. Silva's not that great at takedown defense. He leaves his front leg out very far, and Puelles grabs single legs, so he's probably going to grab that real early in the first round, throw him down, and maybe in the first round, Silva will either give up his back or his legs or something, and Puelles will get him. My initial read was Silva winning because he has a jiu-jitsu base, and Puelles isn't going to sub him. Therefore, Silva wins. And I just decided decision because Puelles is probably going to get... I don't know. This fight, don't bet on it for me. From me. take somebody else's opinion from this, because I've watched the tape on this fight a billion times, and I don't know what the hell to do with it. So I'm going Puelles by sub. But I think Silva could knock out. You know what? Silva's not going to submit Puelles. You could do submission only. Puelles, no bet. So if there is a submission, it's Puelles. You win. If any other outcome, nobody gets a wash. I think that's probably the only safe bet I think is here. Because I think Puelles could win a decision just by controlling Silva, but not getting a submission. Silva could knock out Puelles, and Silva could win a decision. Puelles isn't knocking out Silva, and Silva's not submitting Puelles, but everything else on the table. So that being said, bet at your own risk. Puelles does have a height and reach advantage. Grappling, huge advantage. The striking goes to Silva. So, alright, so hear me out on this one. This is like a lock, but not a lock. I'm fading Medina. I think Medina is just one of those bodies, like I hate to say it, but like a nowadays Diaz brother. Like you throw him in there, he can take a beating. Kind of like what the hell was his name that got his ass kicked by Sean O'Malley? The fucking colored hair. Kind of like that guy. Like, his quality, Medina that is he is tough as nails. That's his quality. That's what they'll say about him during the fight. But, oh, this guy takes a beating. This guy's tough as bricks. Like, oh, he's so durable. Like, if durable is your trait, I'm betting against you. That being said, Dusko Todorovic should not be a lock, but I'm making him a lock just because Medina. I don't think Medina sucks. I think he's just not UFC caliber yet, at least. But he's 34, so there's what it is. I think Dusko, but again, this card, I don't know if it's my confidence is shaken from last week, but this card seemed really hard for some fights. This fight, I think I'm more confident, but I didn't want anyone else to fall for the trap I did. I think Quang Lee is going to try and wrestle because it worked in his last fight. And that's how he wins fights. And I think Luna's going to sub him out for him doing that. I think he's going to get his back and get a submission. That being said, I think Luna could also knock him out. So I think Luna's pretty dominant. The only thing I don't like is his age and his experience. And the fact that Quang Lee can wrestle. Because if he does get the wrestling going, he's going to, I don't know, he's going to lose. But I'm going Luna, just fading Quang Lee. I'm very, 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 very high on this fight. Everyone else is against Alex Hernandez. I get it, but hear me out. He's fighting in what he claims is his hometown now, in San Antonio. He wants to put on a show. Diego Ferreira is 4 years old. This is maybe a retirement fight. I think he turns 41 in a couple months. Is he really training if it is a retirement fight? I think almost every advantage except for funky submissions goes to Alex Hernandez and probably cardio. Alex Hernandez claims to have worked on his cardio and he's looked pretty good his last couple fights. Vieira gets dominated on the ground a lot. Hernandez likes to dominate people from top. Like I'm pretty confident in this freaking fight. As you can see, you know what? I'm making this a lock. So Alexander the Great Hernandez is the lock for me. Probably by decision, but he could win a knockout. Round 1 knockout or decision is where I'm going. Vieira could get a funky submission, but I think the days of that shit happening is pretty much over. You either are good at submissions and can roll and figure out what people are doing, or you throw up funky ones and get knocked out on the ground. Like, and part of my reason of taking Hernandez, I must say, is he's already fought Chase Hooper, Kurt Hollabaugh, who both have, and Jim Miller, and Hanada Makano, which he got choked out in that, so I guess that's not a good example. But the other people, like, since Hanada Makano, in 2022, he's fought Jim Miller, Billy Q, Kurt Hollabaugh, and Chase Hooper, and he's not gotten subbed by any of them. He's only gotten one loss by submission. Yeah, Alexander Hernandez all day, lock. Diego Ferreira is almost 41 years old, people. Like, even if he is somewhat equal in skill, I'm 41 years old. Alex Hernandez whooped the shit out of me. Period. Like, my body doesn't recover. As you can see, like, I'm just losing body parts. But no, Alexander Hernandez, that's my boy. That's who I'm rooting for. Alexander the Great. Let's go. Please like and follow and hit subscribe. You guys were really good at it on my last prediction video. I haven't been saying that very often in this one, so I'm sorry. I'll probably annoy you guys with it from now on. There's only a few fights left, so that's good for you guys. Kelvin Gastelum versus Dustin Stoltzfus. These guys are both 82 years old in UFC age. UFC in fighting years. The reach advantage is pretty heavily Dustin Stoltzfus. Gastelum's been looking decent his last forever. He's like forever. Like, if he would have just fought at the correct weight class, he'd be a champion, but he never did, and he's kind of just getting worse. So I'm going to look to fade him. Piper should have knocked him out, but he didn't. Stoltzfus, I think he gets a submission on him. Gastelum has 3 submission losses, and I think he's just kind of collecting paychecks now. I don't think it's going to be hard to get a submission on him if you try. Stoltzfus by sub. Gastelum could get a decision or knockout, but I think Stoltzfus is a decent pick. This fight was one of the ones I was watching up until the last minute of the day. Up until the last minute of recording. So Jared Gordon's 37 years old. Rafa Garcia is 31 years old. About the same height reach. Everything's about the same. Strikes per minute. More for Jared Gordon. Takedowns heavily for Rafa Garcia, except for he hasn't been taking people down the last few fights, which goes into my decision. Jared Gordon's very good. He 1,000,000,000% beat Paddy Pimblett. I've rewatched that fight 3 times now. Every time, and Paddy Pimblett, like, I kind of like Paddy Pimblett, and Jared Gordon at least won 2 of those rounds, like, for 100% sure. And with that being said, Rafa Garcia his strength is his real strength is he takes you down, holds you down, and kind of grinds you out. And he can get submissions. That being said, if you look at Jared Gordon's resume, he beat, and I think he retired, Mark Madsen, the Olympian. Yeah, November 11th, 2023 is the last fight Mark Madsen had, the Olympian. And before that, that dude had 1 loss to Grant Dawson, and that was it. So this dude's good as fuck, Mark Madsen. I don't know if you guys remember him at all. Giant wrestling background, like Olympic wrestling background. He, like I said, he beat Paddy Pimblett. He did lose to Grant Dawson. He's a wrestler. He lost to Charles Oliveira. I feel like there's one more. Thiago Moises is a huge win in my book. But I would just say he beat Paddy Pimblett and Mark Madsen, who are both grappling heavy people, and Rafa Garcia is a grappler. He's got good striking, good defense, but I think Jared Gordon's just all around better. Going Jared Gordon, pretty confident in it. I wanted to pick Rafa Garcia. He could win. He could win this. But I don't know. Maybe taking down Jared Gordon and grinding. But nobody else has done it. Maybe you could say Mark Madsen didn't have a chance because he got knocked out so fast. But it was almost a full round. It's almost a full round. Let me see. Just for shits and giggles here. Let me see in that round with Madsen. Yeah, Madsen controlled him for 1 minute. He controlled Madsen for 19 seconds. Jared Gordon knocked him out. Ground and pound, it looks like. I'm going Jared Gordon. Everyone's on Jared Gordon, which kind of makes me worried. But Rafa Garcia is good. And before I say it, he's Mexican. So it's a no-shit card. They probably want him to win. He's 31 to 37 years old. He could win. I think he doesn't, though. And the world doesn't think he does. So that's where we're going. This is going to be an unpopular pick. I think David Martinez could absolutely knock Rob Font out in the first round. And there are certain channels that are very much showing their colors with David Martinez, because they're calling him a grappler. Yeah, so you figure out those ChatGPT channels, okay? Because he's a kickboxer and a karate guy, not a grappler. He doesn't have any grappling history. I don't know where you're getting it. So stop ChatGPT in it. Check your info. Do your actual research. Watch your actual tape. You make a shit ton of money doing this. Do it right. Anyway, I think Rob Font pressures him. Martinez is very good at lateral movement. He's very good at movement. He will chop at Rob Font's legs, which worries me, and he is a mean motherfucker. He is there to end you. He's trying to find a finish the whole fight, and he has great cardio, and yeah, he hits hard. He does spinning back kicks, he does side kicks, axe kicks, you name it, he's doing it. He'll like back up to the fence, back up to the side, laterally move to the fence, and then he'll burst out of it. Like he fights pretty much exactly like Wonder Boy. Like he lateral move, he'll throw some kicks when he's moving, he'll whip kicks at you the whole time, and then when you back him up against the fence, he'll charge at you, he'll do a burst, like a blitz, karate blitz, and then he'll go back to circling. I think Rob Font, he's gonna have that weird side. He could get just fucking head kicked and knocked out, but he doesn't get head kicked and knocked out. He has 3 losses. I don't think he's ever been knocked out. Dude's not taking him down. I think he just kind of just goes in there. He's got good defense. He just takes round 1. He might lose round 1 to Martinez, who's blasting him. The leg kicks do worry me, because I don't think Font can switch stances very well. But he will, I think Rob Font, when he pushes him to the cage, and Martinez does his karate blitz, I think Font will either counter him there, or that's when Font will just take him down and hold him and ground and pound him, but just kind of position over anything. So I think Rob Font at 38 years old, I think he could win this fight and spoil David Martinez. Everyone's like super confident in Martinez. Martinez is a great fighter. He's just taken a giant step up. I think it's on short notice too. Let me just double check. Yeah, Rob Font was supposed to fight Raul Rosas. Martinez was supposed to fight Carlos Vera. So I guess he was supposed to fight on this card. I don't know when he stepped out though. Oh, Normal Dumont was supposed to be on this card. So he was preparing. Font was preparing for Raul Rosas, who's a grappler. Font's very experienced. Martinez was preparing. Oh wait, Martinez was. Carlos Vera and Kwong Lee were both Martinez. This is Martinez's third opponent. Man. Yeah, I'm going Rob Font. This dude's fought. His only UFC fight is Simon Oliveira, which he knocked him out in the end of the first round. But, like, this dude. He's one UFC win and you're fighting Rob Font. Like, that's where I land with it. He's ranked 64 UFC bantamweight. Rob Font's at 18th. Like, to bring that into perspective, Hernandez is 20th, Diego Ferreira is 24, Gastelum's 35, Solstice is 27, Rafa Garcia is 30, Jared Gordon's 18, Rob Font's 18, Martinez is 64. Now, that doesn't always mean anything. But that's a giant jump from having one fight in the UFC to fighting Rob Font. Sorry, I'm rambling. Going Rob Font, I'm actually pretty confident in this. But Martinez, caution, could knock him out. And the main event. If John Silva wins, I'm buying a John Silva merchandise of some sort. I am a fan of both of these fighters. I have thought about this fight long, for a month easily. I've thought about this fight. I'm gonna try, and I'm gonna go over as much as I can with this fight, and try and convince you on why I think what I think. And if you don't think that, I would 100% like to hear your opinion on this fight in particular. So, Lopes, Diego. His base is an aggressive grappler. He does have front headlocks. He's good at counter striking, and he's long. He's very long, 72-inch reach at 145 pounds is long. He is opportunistic with his strikes. He's good at countering, like very good at countering, and he's constantly looking for a finish, whether it be a sub or a knockout. He fought Volkanovski a lot better than you'd probably remember. He has very dangerous submissions from multiple positions. He's good at scrambling. He has 5-round experience versus Volkanovski, which Silva does not. And he does seem to have like a sense of momentum swing, which is a intangible. Now his weakness is he gets hit a lot when he's hunting. Like a lot. He gets hit clean too. So he's got very porous striking defense. He does just tend to eat leg kicks, and it affects him quite a bit. And Silva's good at leg kicks. Silva's quite a kicker. So there's that. He does lose position quite a bit because he does chase submissions, and with Silva being such a smaller fighter, I think he might squirm out of a lot of things. Lopes' takedown defense is kind of sus, but I don't think Silva's going to take him down at all. Unless it gets cracked, but I don't know. And Lopes will accept trades to land or to get a better position. He's known to do that. Now, Silva, he is a very high pressure power striker. Who, as we saw with Bryce Mitchell, he is also an opportunistic submission artist. He also has very hard calf kicks and kicks in general, and they're very accurate. He has very high accurate and powerful strikes that will finish people. He has 100% finish rate. So he's hurting people, and he'll like high-five you after he hurts you, which has to just kill your ego. He has ninja chokes, which is important because Diego Lopes is probably going to try and get him to the ground. So he does have ninja chokes and a lot of front chokes. He's very fast. He has a lot of fast sprawls, and he's very fast at entering and exiting the pocket, or as Mighty Mouse will say, the void. He's very confident, he's durable, and I personally think this is a strength. I think he wants revenge for Hoofy and Cabral. If you saw the look on his face, he's not happy with how those went. And if he gets tapped, that team is done. Now, his weakness is, although he defended against Bryce Mitchell is way smaller than Diego Lopes. Like, way smaller than Diego Lopes. So he's unproven against bigger wrestlers. And he can overextend a little bit if he gets emotional, which he can get emotional. And he has very limited 5-round fights. I don't think he has any in the UFC, but he doesn't make it very far in fights usually anyway. And he will have a giant size deficit in this fight. As you can see, he's 5'7" to 5'11", 69-inch reach to 72-inch reach. So he's going to be a smaller man in there. And he also has a tendency to accept pocket trades. So, how I see this fight going is Gene Silva is going to try and stay at reach, stay at a distance, and he's going to try and pick Lopes apart. Lopes is going to try and counter Silva, and then when Silva overextends, he's going to try and take him down and then try and submit him. Silva, I think, is going to try and sprawl and brawl and just beat up Lopes, because I think there's going to be a speed disadvantage for Lopes. There was with Volk, and Volk I think is way slower than Silva. So I think Silva is just going to piece him apart. I'm saying Gin Silva round 2 knockout. I am a fan of Lopes and of Silva. Silva is my favorite fighter. I like his story. I like him. I like how he's a little bit crazy. I like he's emotional. So take it for what it is. If you are not high in the fighting nerds after last week, I understand. But I'm still rolling with my boys. They're not perfect. This ain't boxing. You're going to lose some fights. But I think Silva's going to be a champ next. So that's my pick, John Silva. And the prestige bet this week, which didn't hit last week, because none of my bets hit last week because of the fighting nerds. So there's that. We did make our money back with football, though. So there's also that. The prestige bet, the Eagles. They're playing in Kansas City this week against the Chiefs. Their best defensive player did not get suspended for spitting on Dak Prescott. So he's going to be playing and very angry. Worthy is wearing a shoulder brace for a dislocated shoulder, which I didn't know you could do that. When you dislocate something, you tear stuff, just so everyone knows that. So he's just probably a decoy. He might make some plays, but it's going to hurt him. Kelsey's half checked out. If you watched the game last week, he gave up running half the plays. Like, he just kind of gave up. Mahomes just staring at him like, what the fuck, dude? But he's not going to do anything about it. Nobody's going to say anything about it, because Kelsey's Kelsey. And the Chargers beat the Chiefs. And the Chargers couldn't get a lot going themselves, except for Quentin Johnson. And I think that was in Kansas City. No. It might have been in LA. Either way. The Eagles smoked him in the Super Bowl, which wasn't that long ago. If anything, the teams stayed the same, and the Chiefs probably got worse. The Eagles are playing very well, and the Chiefs are still looking like they are lost on offense. And I'm sorry, they're not going to get lucky and just barely win like 9 games this year. It's not happening. So I'm very bullish on the Eagles this week, and Gene Silva pick plus 152 combined. So the dynamic double this week is Tatiana Suarez money line, Dusko Dvorak money line, and John Silva money line for the plus 127 there. I'm starting with $20, and I changed it to 20 from 10 because we were doing well. And then the tactical triple this week is the Eagles money line, the Rams money line. They are away against the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee kind of looked just kind of inept. They kind of just haven't gotten their team together with the rookie and all the changes. So I think right now is the time to hit them with the Rams money line. Rams looked like they were playing pretty well last week. They beat Seattle, I think. Or they beat Texans. Rams beat the Texans, which I think they're way better than the Titans. And then Gene Silva. So that's plus 216. So that's $20 for $71. And then my moneyline tracker, I'm at 66% over the last 10 cards. And not as proud of that, but we're doing good. Moving along, chugging along. Stay tuned this week. I think early Thursday before football, I'll probably have another video out with some props for the UFC if they're out yet. And probably some bets for the NFL, which will be on this page. But we're not there yet. Those are last week's. So please like, follow, subscribe. I apologize on behalf of the nerds last week for losing. But I assure you I'm putting in the money, or the time, I'm putting in the effort. I am watching fights. I'm watching probably 3-4 fights for some of these people each. I'm looking at statistics. I have spreadsheets. I have graphs. I'm breaking it all down. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's fighting. Sometimes just knockouts are going to happen. Sometimes you're just going to get slapped. Sometimes you're just going to lose. But it's betting in general, and you got to be here for the ups and the downs, buddy. So let's get it. Let's win this fucking money. Let's be very successful this week. I got some good NFL shit coming out too. So stay tuned for that. So again, like, subscribe, send me a message, please. Let me know what you think. Let me know who you think is going to win the fights. Who your favorite matchup is this week. What fight you're looking the most forward to this week. And that's it. So let's make some money. See you Thursday. See you Thursday. Bang, bang. Hooray, motherfucker.